Hello everyone, I am Fiona and today I will be discussing six questions. Three for general education and another three for professional education. But before we start, let me give you first a very short motivation. So I chose this quote from Catriona where she said that to everyone with a dream, know that your dreams are valid. And on your path, you are never denied and only redirected. If you haven't known, guys, I took an entrance examination in Cebu Normal University, taking Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in English. But guess what? I failed. During that time, I cried. Kaya of course, kinsa may di mo hilak ana, oy, ako average is 97. But imagine, nag-failed ko, wala ko kapasar. Feel na ko at that time, nabugo na jud kay ko. Like, I even ask myself, asa di ay ang ako giskwilahan for pila ka years? Pila ka years? 12 years? Asa di ako giskwilahan? I express my sadness through posting something on my wall. Facebook wall. Kay sa una, immature pa man kay ta. Ato mga feelings, ato i-post, ingana, wala tay pakabana sa ato palibot. And then my former senior high school classmate messaged me. This person was my frenemy in senior high school. She is very competitive. So am I. Maunang di jud mi magkasinabot. Basically, she is the last person I expect to give me motivation during those times. But unexpectedly, she messaged me. She said these lines: to everyone with a dream, know that your dreams are valid. And on your path, you are never denied and only redirected. That moment, I was able to understand the meaning behind this quote. Slowly, I accepted defeat, but also scared kay basin di na ko ma-admit sa laing schools. Kay of course, hapit na mag-start ang class and the trauma is still there. What if mo apply ko sa laing schools na entrance examinations and hindi gihapon ko kapasar? So naa ang trauma. Weeks after I applied in CTU, I am happy as in kaysa walay kalisod-lisod na dawat dayon ko. I even ranked fourth among education students when it comes to average. Then I realized by studying in CTU, I am not fulfilling my dream. I am fulfilling my father's dream for me. Kay I remember my departed father who always says na paningkamutan jud nako na sa CTU ka makaeskwela. Which is why since grade 7, the only university that's on my mind is CTU Maine. And honestly, I just learned about CNU during grade 12 days because of my ex. Yes, ex past tense, who is also one of the reason why I wanted to study there. But luckily, God's plans was always better and greater than mine. In CTU, I was never pressured. I never cried because of academics and while maintaining my title as a student achiever. I was even an academic excellence awardee during second year for having the highest average among second year students. I also received multiple scholarships like the LDT scholarships, the PGIF scholarship, TAS scholarships, and scholarships offered in our municipality. Enjoying all these blessings made me realize that Catriona is right. We are never a failure. You are never a failure. Maybe we failed on that certain thing because something greater was waiting for us. Which is why, to all of you who happen to watch this video, don't you ever give up. Always remember that to everyone with a dream, know that your dreams are valid. And on your path, you are never denied and only redirected. So ayaw mo kahadlok nga ma-fail. Always remember that God has a greater and greater and greater plans for us. So I guess my story made you all motivated. Though I know na we are not on the same boat, lahi-lahi tag mga experiences, but I believe that all of us are also facing different struggles in life. And always remember that you are not a failure. You are just redirected to what God has already prepared for you. Okay? Okay, of course, okay. So guys, pardon di I know if my video is unsa na siya? Magputol-putol kay ako signal. Grabe ang smart karon, nagkahinay. Okay. Now, let us proceed to the questions for general education. So we have here the general knowledge. Okay, just wait. Here. We have here the general knowledge. So, guess kung unsay first question, is it Filipino, mathematics, or science? What do you think? Of course, let us find out. Let us find out, everyone. Di pa gid siya mo next, nagpatriling. Okay. For our first question, it is the relationship between an organism and a host where neither is benefited nor harmed. Is it A, commensalism, B, competitive, C, parasitic, or D, mutualistic? So before I gave you the answer, let me first discuss the different types of population interaction. So there are 9 types of population interaction. So positive sign, tanawan ninyo ang signs. Positive sign indicates that species has benefited from the interaction. Negative sign indicate that species has died, injured, or harmed from the interaction. And lastly, for 0, it indicates that a species is not affected. So, wala siya naapektuhan. Positively or negatively, walay effect. So, first relation, we have here mutualism. So, mutualism, it is an interaction favorable to both and obligatory. So, based on the sign, that is both positive. It means that both species A and B benefits the interaction. For example, bees and flowers. Imagine bees and flowers as good friends who help each other out. Bees are like tiny messengers that go from one flower to another. When they visit a flower, they collect sweet nectar, which is like the flower's special treat. In return, the bees unintentionally carry pollen from one flower to another, helping the flowers make seeds. So, the bees get a tasty treat. Unsa man tong tasty treat? Of course, the nectar from the flowers, and in return, they help the flowers make new baby plants by spreading, unsa may spread? Pollen. It's like a teamwork where both bees and flowers benefits. All right? So again, the symbol for mutualism is both positive, which means that both of them benefits from the interaction. All right. So dali ra kay siya sabto, no? Next is competition. So in competition, kinsa may nakasuway diri competition na beni, compete mo regional, district, unsa pa municipal, ingana. So competition. So unsa man ing competition? Competition is indirect inhibition when common resources are in short supply. So in competition, both signs are negative, meaning both species were harmed or affected. Why? Di ba sa competition dapat na ay madaog? Nganong ma-harmed man? Yes, na ay madaog. But dili nato ma-deny ang fact that we are also putting so much effort to get that reward, sacrificing our well-being. Now imagine a group of rabbits living in a forest. They all need to eat to survive, and there is only limited amount of yummy grass or grasses available. Now, if kung ang two rabbits eats the same patch of grass, they might have to compete for it. What if limited ra ang grass? So ang rabbit need nila mag-compete kung kinsay makakuha ato nga grass. The faster or more agile rabbit might get to the grass first, leaving less for the slower one. So kung kinsa to'y pinakakusog mo dagan, mautoy makakuha og daghan nga grass. Katong hinay kayo mo dagan, well, gamay ra ang iya makuha. Gamay ra ang iya makaon, dili siya mabusog. Another example of competition would be the war between Ukraine and Russia. Naabay na daog. Ang Russia, because Russia is a big country. But throughout the process, they've also experienced casualties and destruction of properties. So meaning, harmed gihapon sila, affected gihapon sila. The same thing sa Ukraine. So again, in competition, both species are harmed and negatively affected. That is why the symbol for competition are both negative. Sa mutualism, both positive. Sa competition, both negative. Very good. Next is predation. Unsa man yung predation? So, predation. The predator is larger and gains at the expense of the prey, which is smaller. So, ang predator, mas dako kaysa prey. Ang prey, mas gamay. So, kung kinsa to'y dako, mao tong predator. Kung kinsa tong gamay, mao to ang prey. So, in predation, the symbol was positive and negative. It means that species A benefits and species B was harmed or died. For example, a hunter shooting a duck in the forest to have it for dinner. So, kinsa may naka-benefit? Of course, si hunter. The predator. Kinsa may na-deads? Of course, si duck, the prey. So again, that is predation. And the symbol is positive and negative. Tigam ni di ay ninyo guys, ang ako example nga katong si hunter shooting a duck, kay mostly mo na siya mo gawas sa let. Kasagaran sa ako nakita na let reviewer is mauni siya ang examples. Mauni siya one of the choices. So remember, if a hunter shooting a duck, that is predation. Very good, children. I hope you really understand, no? Because dali ra kayo ni siya tigamnan. Dali ra kayo ni siya sabton. Ang importante makahibaw jud mo kung unsay iya mga signs. Kung kahibaw mo sa iya mga signs, kahibaw na jud mo ana tanan. Sus, easy. Char. Next is unsa man siya? Parasitism. So the parasite is smaller, gains at the expense of the host, which is larger. So sa parasitism, the symbol was positive and negative. It means that species A is positively affected while species A benefits while species B is negatively affected. So for example, lice in organisms here. Kung kutuon ta, kinsa may maka-benefit? Di ba ang kuto? Supsupo na to dugo. Ang ending, sila ang manambok. Moana dayon na sila ay. Moana dayon na ato mama, maunang nagniwang ka kay daghan kay kag kuto. Ang imong gipangkaon, ang imo dugo gisupsup na sa kuto. Ingana. Mauna, ang kuto na nambok ari sa tuo. So while kita, nangon sa manta, sige tag pangkaut sa ato ulo. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, always, every hour, every minute, magkaut sa ato o kay naay kuto. Char. So again, that is parasitism. And take note that the parasite is the one who benefits. So kinsa man to, ang kuto sa ato ulo mo to siya parasite nga nagsipsup sa dugo. So siya mo'y naka-benefit. And then the host is the one who is harmed. Kinsa may host? Of course, kita. So, mao na siya. And this interaction is dili ra siya applicable, dili ra siya suitable or applicable sa ato ang mga tao. Of course, naasad na sa mga iro or sa mga kanding. Kaya of course, dili ra man kita ang kutuon. Kutuon sa mga kabaw, mga baka. So, daghan jud ang affected ani nga interaction. And always remember nga ang maka-benefit mauto siya ang parasite. And kung kinsa to ang na-harmed or ang affected, mauto siya ang host. So that is parasitism. Next is commensalism. The commensal, species 1 or species A, benefits while the host, the species 2 or species B, is not affected. So in commensalism, the symbols are positive and 0, which means that species A benefits the interaction while species B is not affected. So one of the common examples nga ako nakitaan sa mga let reviewers is orchids grow on trees. It is because when orchids grow on trees, of course, maka-benefit gid ang orchid having something where they can grow and they can bloom, right? This process does not have any effect on trees. So even though mo grow ang orchid sa tree, the tree is neither positively nor negatively affected. Wala ra ang tree, naara siya dili ra siya affected. So again, for commensalism, always remember that the symbols are positive and 0. So naay naka-benefit, which is ang orchid, and naasay walay effect, which is ang tree. So that is commensalism. And take note of my example. Permi ko ni siya makitaan sa mga let reviewer, orchids grow on trees. Kung mo ay naganig orchids grow on trees, that is commensalism. Very good, children. I hope na amoy na learn. Next is, the sixth is amensalism. One of the population inhibited, the other is not affected. So meaning, ang usa kuno ka population namatay, ang usa dili affected. Oh, kamatay lagi mo ara. Char! So the symbol is negative and 0. Ginawas ako. So in amensalism, the symbol are negative and 0. For example, penicillin killing the bacteria. In this situation, penicillin benefits by getting getting rid of harmful bacteria. But the bacteria are harmed because they are killed. The bacteria don't have any effect on penicillin in any way. So kung mamatay ang bacteria, ang penicillin, maura gihapon. Penicillin just keeps on doing their jobs like a superhero, like a na siya tagapagligtas ing ana defeating bad guys. So basically, species A who is negatively affected was the bacteria, kay namatay ang bacteria. While species B who is not harmed at all was the penicillin. Again, remember the symbols for amensalism, that is negative and 0. Very good. Negative and 0 ha. Negative and 0, that is amensalism. Next, the seventh. Sakto ba seventh? Seventh is proto-cooperation. The interaction favorable to both and but not obligatory. So maybe na-confuse mo, hala, mutualism, positive man sad tuoy. Nya pro to cooperation, positive sad. Okay. So in proto-cooperation, it has similar symbol with mutualism. As you can see, no? Both positive and positive. But in proto-cooperation, remember that it is not obligatory. Sa mutualism, obligatory. Sa proto-cooperation, not obligatory. Meaning, interaction and relationships like this are not necessary for a certain species to benefit or gain something. For example, bird and cattle. Sakto ba? Bird and cattle. The birds sit on the back of the cattle and pick off ticks and other pests that might be bothering the cattle. So for example, may mga pest naa sa luyo sa cattle, pangkuhaon to sa bird. So kung naay mga kuto ang cattle, kauno na sa bird. In return, the bird gets tasty meal and a safe place to perch. So naka-benefit jud ang bird, right? That is positive. On the other hand, the cattle also benefit because the bird help keep them free from annoying and harmful parasites. The birds act like a natural pest control service for the cattle. Char, natural pest control service sana all, making their lives more comfortable. So, di ba? Sila duha naka-benefit, no? Sa interaction. But again, this interaction is not obligatory. Nga naman, because there are still various means where a bird can eat delicious food and a cattle can still get cleaned up by other means. So ang bird pwede makakaon bisag asa, ang cattle pwede sana siya malimpyuhan bisag asa, so dili jud siya obligatory. So again, remember that proto-cooperation is both positive and not obligatory. Unlike mutualism na both positive but obligatory. So that is proto-cooperation. So I hope nasabdan na ninyo obligatory and not obligatory. Of course, kung obligatory, necessary. Dili mabuhi mo sa kung wala na. Oh, that is obligatory. Kung non-obligatory, not obligatory, makasurvive ra, okay ra, wala ka, So, parehas ra gud na, uyab mo, yung magbuwag mo, not obligatory nga uyab gid mo, right? Kay makasurvive man ka, nga siya makasurvive sa wala ka. So, meaning, not obligatory. Inga na. Charis, oh my God, kasakit sa ko art. Next is, mutual inhibition competition type. So, unsa man ni siya? Direct inhibition of each species by the other. So, in this relation, the symbol was both negative, like competition, na ato na-discuss ganiha, right? Katong Russia and Ukraine, both negative, kay both are affected. Char. But in this kind of competition is somewhat different from competition. Though parehas sila og sign, but sa mga happenings or sa interaction is different siya. Now, imagine you have two friends, Lily and Snow. Char, Lily and Snow. Migan ani mo sila duha. Sila duha, ganahan sila mag-president sa class. Of course, kung president ka, respected man ka. Mauna, ganahan sila mag-president. Now, they are competing for the same position. Ganahan sila duha mag-president. And they both have great ideas and leadership skills. Now, let's talk about mutual inhibition competition. Instead of supporting each other and working together to achieve a common goal, Sam and Alex are actively working against each other. They might try to undermine each other's ideas, spread rumors, or focus more on improving why the other person is not suitable for the role. This type of competition involves a lot of negativities between the participants. For example, wala siya, ni imo siya gisiraan sa imong mga classmate, ayaw na siya ibutar, uy, backstabber man gud na siya, buti man gud na siya now, kuan man gud na siya ing ana. Sumuna siya ang mutual inhibition competition. Manira mo para makadaog mo. Ingana, so bati gid siya no. Now, let's compare it with regular competition. In a healthy competition, participants strive to do their best and outperform others, but it doesn't necessarily involve negative actions or trying to bring others down. It is more about personal improvement and showcasing one's skills and abilities. So basically, mutual inhibition competition involves active efforts to hinder or undermine the opponents, while regular competition is more about striving to do your best, to do their best, without necessarily trying to bring others down. Naning kamot ra kag imuha, imo sila pasagdaan. Kung unsa ila buhaton, then go. Kung unsa imo buhaton, then go. So again, for mutual inhibition competition, we have the signs negative and negative. But mas negative pagid siya sa competition because of the ways on how a certain organism achieve a particular goal or a dream. Right? Alright. So that is mutual inhibition competition. Lastly, we have neutralism. Neither population is affected. So, unsa man ni siyang neutralism? Both zero. So, in neutralism, that is 0-0. It's like, wala sila'y paki sa usag-usa. And their presence doesn't affect each other or other organism. So, for example, rocks and trees. The trees are busy growing, producing oxygen, and providing a home for birds and other animals. They don't care about the rocks. The rocks don't help or harm the trees in any way. The rocks, on the other hand, are just sitting there, not doing anything to the trees. They don't benefit or get harmed by the presence of the trees. So, ana gid ka simple. They live in the same habitat, but they don't have any positive or negative effect with each other. So again, that is neutralism. So both 0 and 0, that is neutralism. Alright? So again, unsa gani ito ang mga population relation? We have mutualism, positive and positive, competition, negative and negative, predation, positive and negative, parasitism, positive and negative, commensalism, positive and 0, amensalism, negative and 0, proto-cooperation, positive and positive but obligatory, mutual inhibition competition is negative and negative but mas negative siya sa competition, and neutralism that is 0 and 0, no effect, walay paki sa usag-usa. Alright? Now, let us go back to the question. Sa toto question, hinumdum pa mo sa may answer ato be. Di na siya man next, guys. Okay, nara. It is the relationship between an organism and a host where neither is benefited nor harmed. Is it A, commensalism, B, competitive, C, parasitic, and D, mutualistic? Take note, the hosts were neither benefited nor harmed. So, underlinean dayon na ninyo, that is the clue or the clue word nga na, the clues. Meaning, ang symbol ani niya unsa man? That is 0. Wala man siya na harmed. That is 0. So, unsa gani symbol sa competition? Yes, both are negative. How about sa parasitic? Positive and negative. Sa mutualistic, both are positive. Sa commensalism, positive and 0. So, asa may 0, na 0 ato? Of course, ang commensalism. So, the answer for this question is commensalism. Alright, nakakuha ba ang tanan sa correct answer? Nakakuha ba ang tanan sa correct answer? I hope so, ha? Kay, oh my God, kapiro ba kay discuss diri o, nangugat na ko. Dapat yun, baka learn mo. Di na ninyo makalimtan ha, kay ako'y nag-discuss. Charis. Now, let us proceed to the second question. Which of the following components of the solar energy has the shortest wavelength? Take note, shortest wavelength. Is it A, ultraviolet rays, B, visible light, C, violet light, and D, gamma rays? So, unsa na may imo eliminate dira? Unsa may eliminate dira, be? Of course, letter C, violet light. Naaday violet light. Wala. So, eliminate na nimo. So, before na ko ihatag ang question, let us first have a rationalization. Okay, rationalization. So what you see in your screen is an electromagnetic spectrum. It describes all kinds of light, including those the human eye cannot see. The light we can see is made up of individual colors of the rainbow, and it represents only a very small portion of the electromagnetic spectrum. Now, take a look of the digits below. Naman ninyo ang digits below kanang color sky blue. As you can see, radio waves contains the highest wavelength of 5 million, while gamma rays contains the shortest wavelength of 0.0005 nanometer. And take note that wavelength and frequency are inversely proportional from each other. It means that the highest wavelength, the lowest frequency, while the shortest wavelength, the highest frequency. Now, I believe that it is very impossible for you to answer the question without memorizing the sequence of electromagnetic spectrum. So I have here mnemonic na nakuha sa nako while watching live sessions in CBRC. I forgot the name of the lecturer, but all credits belongs to her. Yes. So we have here the mnemonics. Read my instructions visible under X-ray glasses. So that is our mnemonic. So if you remember that praise, you can already picture out the electromagnetic spectrum. Read for radio, my for microwave, instruction for infrared, visible for visible, under for ultraviolet, X-ray for X-ray, and lastly, glasses for gamma rays. And always remember that the longest wavelength belongs to radio waves, while the shortest wavelength belongs to gamma rays. Okay? Nakuha ara? Again, unsa ato mnemonic? Read my instructions visible under X-ray glasses. That is radio waves, microwaves, infrared, visible spectrum, ultraviolet, X-ray, and gamma rays. Alright, now let's go back to the question number 2. The question na to, number 2. Which of the following components of the solar energy has the shortest wavelength? So is it A, ultraviolet rays, B, visible light, C, gi-eliminate na ni nato kay walay violet light sa electromagnetic spectrum in town, and D is gamma rays. So unsa ganito na shortest wavelength? Yes, that is letter D, the gamma rays. Yes, the gamma rays has the shortest wavelength. Ang longest wavelength unsa man to? Radio waves. Again, always remember the mnemonic. Read my instructions visible under X-ray glasses. So, I hope nga nakatunra ang tanan, people. I hope nga nakatunra ang tanan. So, that is the answer, gamma rays. Now, let us proceed to the third question. Right to liberty, life, liberty, and genuine happiness is fundamental to. Unsa man? Is it A, historical rights, B, civil rights, C, political rights, or D, constitutional rights? Sa may answer? Sabotable man. Sabotable yun. Char. So, unsa answer? Of course, ato sa i-discuss, ato siya sa i-rationalize or makahibaw mo sa answer. So, historical rights. It refers to a variety of rights and privileges that are based on historical practices, traditions, or agreements. So, guys, I don't really have any idea what is historical rights, and I am not sure if this certain thing exists. No, kay as in, I ask my classmates, I ask everyone, have you heard of historical rights? Ano sila? Unsa na? Bag-o lagi na. But then, of course, I made my research. Though nagalisod, I made my research and I found out that historical rights are often deeply rooted in the historical context of a particular region or community. And take note na it evolves over time and based on historical developments and traditions emerge in a particular place. Basta about na ganina traditions and cultures, that is historical rights. But again, for everyone nga makawatch aning video, please confirm, please ask more knowledgeable other MKO kay I am not really sure about this. I just found this one in my research, mo ni ako nakitaan, and mo ni ako gi-explain, but then dili gyapon ko sure. So, double check lang ninyo para masakto gid siya. Mas better man nga mag-double check ta, at least, makahibaw ta nga, sakto di ay, sayop di ay. Ana, ha? Okay. Next, civil rights. Where civil rights? Okay, it refers to fundamental rights and freedoms granted to individuals by government and are protected by law. Rights of individuals to receive equal treatment and to be free from unfair treatment or discrimination in several settings. So, unsa maning civil rights? So, civil rights, easy. This pertains to the rights of individuals to receive equal treatment and protection under the law, irrespective of their race, gender, religion, or other characteristics. So, maituma ka, maputi, or madato man ka, mapobre, you have civil rights. You are protected by the government. You have the right to life, liberty, and happiness. These are actually the core aspects. The life, liberty, and happiness, these are the core aspects of civil rights as it emphasizes the fundamental freedoms and protections that every individual should enjoy. So again, freedom, civil rights. Liberty, life, civil rights. Okay? If you are discriminated, then your civil rights are violated. Always remember that. And don't let anyone violate your civil rights and your right as a person. Huh? Always remember that discrimination is not our thing. We do not accept discrimination. We fight. Kaisog ba? Okay, next is political rights. It includes natural justice or procedural fairness in laws such as the rights of the accused, including the right to a fair trial, due process, and the right to seek redress or a legal remedy, and rights of participation in civil society and politics such as freedom of association, the right to assemble, the right to petition, and the right of self-defense, and the right to vote. Always remember the right to vote. So, This involves in political rights. This involves participation in the political process. For example, we Filipinos have the right to vote in elections and to run for public office. Of course, if you have the credibility, if you have the qualifications, why not run for public office? You have the right. We also have the right to enjoy our democracy. Mauna nga election, we often said na vote wisely because exercising our right to suffrage are both an honor, privilege, and freedom. So our freedom depends on us because we are living in a democratic country. So always remember that is our political rights. Everyone. Next, we have the constitutional rights. So it can be a prerogative or a duty, a power or a restraint of power recognized and established by a sovereign state or union of states. It may be expressly stipulated in a national constitution, or they may be inferred from the language of a national constitution. So, these rights are explicitly protected by a country's constitution. Kumuingon tag constitutional rights. For example, the Philippines has a constitution that outlines various rights and protections for its citizens. So currently, unsa may name sa ato constitution be? Unsa yung name sa ato constitution? Wala mo kahibaw. Of course, yes. We have the 1987 Constitution, 1987 Philippine Constitution, and it outlines our rights and responsibilities as a citizen of this country. Yes, that is constitutional rights. So I have a question. Question. Follow-up question. What is the first word of the 1987 Philippines Constitution? Unsa man ang first word? Agoy, mugawas ni sa let. Wrong na. Charis. Of course, di mo marong kay tudluan ta mo. So, the first word of the 1987 Philippines Constitution is the word we. Ha? We. Kita. We, the sovereign Filipino people. Remember the preamble? So, that is we. We, the sovereign Filipino people, imploring the aid of Almighty God. Charis. Wabit ako kasag-o, guys. Maurat ako nasag-o. So, okay. Since kay Bao naman munsa na siyang mga rights, let us go back to the question. Unsa ganito ato question? Wala na sa next ako, Canva. Okay, number 3. The last item for general education, right to life, liberty, and genuine happiness is fundamental to, unsa man, historical rights, civil rights, political rights, or constitutional rights. Unsa ganito? Unsa ganito kumaingon tag life, liberty, genuine happiness? Of course, yes, we are talking about civil rights. Very good children, very good people. I hope nga nasud to sa inyong utok tanan-tanan natong gidiscuss karon because gamay ra kay to siya nga part no sa coverage sa LET, and I am so glad that I was able to discuss this to you, at least kanang ma-share na ko ako knowledge sad nga nakatunan by watching live sessions of CBRC. Yes, I watch live sessions in CBRC. I hope kamusad aron makalearn sad mo. Charis! Okay. So, I guess manata sa general education. Nakatun ba ang tanan? Ginhawa sa mo kay mo ginhawa sa ako. Okay? Ginhawa sa mo kay mo ginhawa sa ako. Okay, let us now proceed to professional education. So, for question number 1, which does not belong to the group? A. Completion test. B. Matching type. C. Multiple choice. And D. Alternate response. Asa may way labot ani niya? Kaklaro na ana ay. Sabotable ra siya, no, everyone? Sabotable ra siya, but ato lang i-discuss sa gamay. Of course, dagdag kaalaman, mas maayo mang kanang unsa siya, sobra ang kaalaman kaysa kuwang, di ba? Okay, so there are two classifications of traditional or paper and pencil test. So we have, take note, selected, ay naman day tay PPT ari, oy, tay PPT. We have selected response type and constructed response type. When we say selected response type, items are those in which students read a question and are presented with a set of responses from which they choose the best answer. So for example, multiple choice questions, matching type, true or false, and many more. Basically, kung muingon gani tag selected from the word select, naa siya'y choices. And you have to select. Remember everyone, you have to select or you have to choose the best answer out of the choices. Okay? You have to select or choose the best answer out of the choices. So again, that is selected response type. Unsay mga example? Multiple choice, matching type, true or false, and many more. Okay. Now, unsa man di ay ni ang usa? Unsa ganitong usa? Aw gi-mention pagtubag-tubag sad mo dira aron maka-learn mo. So we have the constructed response type. Unsa man ning constructed response type? It is sometimes called as open response items. Open response items. Take note. Items are so named because they ask students to use their own thinking and background knowledge to develop answers without the benefit of any suggestions or choices. And also, items often have more than one way to correctly answer the question. So, sa may mga example ani, completion type, short answer type, problem solving, essay restricted, essay not restricted. Ingan na mo na mga example sa constructed type. So, basically, kung moingon day tag constructed type or constructed response type, students need to construct their own answers. No? Naabay choices. Naay choices? Wala. Of course, walay choices. Unsay examples ani? Essay, completion type, problem solving, and many more. Again, that is constructed response type. And those are the two classifications of traditional or paper and pencil test. Selected response type and constructed response type. In selected response type, you have to select the best answer. In constructed response type, you have to construct your own answer. And naa siya more than one correct answer. Okay? Okay, very sabutable. No. Let's go back to the question, everyone. Unsa ganito to question? Unsa may answer ato be? Unsa may answer ato? Which does not belong to the group. So asa may way labot ani niya? Completion test, matching type, multiple choice, or alternate response? Sa may answer? Sagot-sagot. Char. So, ang alternate response, naa by choices. Of course, naa alternate response gani, di ba? And multiple choice, naa by choices. Of course, from the word multiple choice, A, B, C, D, ingan na. Naa. How about matching type? Na by choices ang matching type. So, kung mag-answer mo matching type, na by choices. Of course, unsaon ninyo pag-match kung walay choices? Of course na. And what about completion type? Na ba siya choices? Of course, wala. Kaya sa completion type, it requires a student to complete a statement that is missing. one or more key elements. So, kung naa siya missing nga element, so that is completion type. And you have to fill in those answers. Which is why the answer for this item is letter A, completion type. Very good. Have you got the right answer, children? Hmm. Of course, dapat nakakuha mo sa correct answer because it's just so sabotable. And we've discussed this one a lot of times, right? During our second year and third year, we've been encountering these types of questions. So, dapat na mo yung mga background knowledge ani. On dili ra ni siya maudaghan pa jud kay ni siya. Alright? Now, let us proceed to the next question. Hala, naratol na sila kay 9 numbers. Ako sa naratol sa pagkubog. Kita na ko on, naratol sa ko kay 9 numbers. Char. But when I read it, very, kuanya siya. Very sabutable. Char. Sabutable. Pero di siya maansiran, guys. So, umukahibaw. Umukahibaw. Di, Jud. Gilit, proceed sa ta. Number 2. About how many percent of the students' scores fall between negative 2 SD and positive 2 SD in the normal curve distribution. So, negative 2 SD, unsa may SD? Standard deviation to positive 2 SD. So, A, 34.18%, B, 68.26%, C, 95.44%, and letter D, 99.72%. So, what do you think is the answer? Of course, mag-rationalization sa ta. Let us have a rationalization. So, kaning item, no? Kato siyang item. Wala jud siya nag-need og super duper deep critical thinking. Kay bisag unsa pa ka maayo mo analyze kung wala ka ka-memorize sa normal curve distribution, wala jud. Sayang ang usa ka item, no? Imbis passing na ta ka 74.5 nya wrong man ka, narong man 74 na lang agkoy nagbong daw sa usa ka item, chares. So dapat maminaw mo aron dili mo mahagbong sa usa ka item. Okay. Karon, to answer that question, dapat masag-uning ninyo ang normal distribution. Unsa man day ng normal distribution ngano pa mang naa pa mang giing ana. So this is what you are seeing right now. Kung unsa na inyo nakitaan karon sa inyo atubangan, that is a normal distribution. As you can see, naata diri normal curve. Ang total sa whole normal curve is 100%. From negative SD to positive SD. So unsa gani ng SD? That is standard deviation. So ang tunga, as you can see, ang tunga sa normal curve is ang mean, wherein maoy gatunga sa normal curve into positive and negative. So take a look of the digits. Tan-awan ninyong digits nga naa sa sud. Ayaw tong naa sa babaw kay total man to siya. So tan-awan ninyong digits. To get the values of negative 2 SD to positive 2 SD, all you have to do is to add the digits in between negative 2 SD to positive 2 SD. And the result is the answer to the previous question. So, pila man? That will be 13.59 and 34.13. Calculate ninyo dira. 34.14, duha na siya ka 34.14 ha. And 13.59. So, pilay answer. So, ang answer is 95.44%. Tan-awon daw nato bi kung naabay 95.44%, basi mo na gadbut-but mo ni si Teacher Feuna. Oy, gadbut-but gid ni si Teacher Feuna. So na ay 95.44 SD. So unsa man letter? Unsa man letter? Of course, letter C. Letter C. That is 95.44 percent from negative 2 SD to positive 2 SD. And also, please take note that the digits in normal curve is constant and unchanging. So kung ing-ani nga klase nga questions mo gawas, kahibaw na moon sa inyo buhaton. Ha? Kahibaw na moon sa inyo buhaton. Kung mugawas ni siya nga question, ingani kay nga question, bisag dili pa na negative 2 to positive 2, bisag unsa man, bisag unsa ni siya? Negative 3 pa na to negative 3 pa na to positive 2 kamaon na mo mukuha. Okay? Okay. So try daw be, practice daw. How about kung moingon ko nga from negative 1 SD to positive 3 SD? What is the answer? Kung moingon ko negative 1 SD to positive 3 SD, what is the answer? Solve everyone. You have to add. And of course, you have to remember the normal curve distribution. No, you have to memorize this one. Of course, ang inyo ra i-memorize is 2.14, 13.59, and 34.13. Kay balik raman na from negative to positive, balik ra na siya. Basta ang mga sobra-sobra, that is 0.14%. Ha? So again, unsa ganito, unsa answer? From negative 1 SD to positive 3 SD, that is, okay, the answer is 83.99%. Alright, so I hope nakuha ninyo ang answer, and I hope nakasabot ra ang tanan unsaon ni pag-attack na question. So di na nato dugayon, no? Di na nato dugayon. Let us proceed to the last question. Charis, last question na. Okay. For number 3, Teacher Luis conducted a test. More students from the lower group answered item number 16 correctly. It can be assumed that the said test item has blank A. Negative discriminating power, B. Low validity, C. Positive discriminating power, or D. Zero discriminating power. Okay. So may answer, everyone? Of course, ay sata. Do you have answers already? So wala pa. So let us have a rationalization first. So this question is known to be an item analysis. Kaya ba mo sa ng item analysis? Of course, inyo i-analyze ang question. Inyo i-analyze ang items. No. So unsa man ang item analysis? Mo to siya, analyze the question, Charis. It is a process of examining the student's response to individual item in the test. So, mo i-analyze ang responses of students and ang particular item. Through this process, we can identify the item that is to be retained, revised, or rejected. And also, the content of the lesson that is not mastered. Okay? Mao na siya ang gamit sa item analysis. So, take a look of this on my PowerPoint presentation. Ayaw gawain yung mata sa PowerPoint kaya makasunod mo. So, positive discrimination takes place when more from the upper group got the item correctly. So, if this happens, the item will be retained. Okay? Kung more from the upper group get the items correctly, the item will be retained. You have to retain the item. Next, on the other hand, kung moingon gani tag negative discrimination, it means that more from the lower group got the item correctly. So, more kuno sa nasa lower group ang nakakuha sa item correctly. And if this happens, the item should be rejected. Unsaon ang item? Kung more from the lower group ang nakakuha og correct nga answer, the item will be rejected. Yes. Naasad tayo gitawag og zero discrimination. It happens when a number of students in the upper or lower group who answer the test correctly are equal. So, Hence, the test item cannot distinguish the student's performance. O kung naabay students nga ni-perform well, kung naabay students nga wala ni-perform well, so dili ma-identify because of zero discrimination. So, kung mahitabo gani ni siya, ang imo buhaton, you have to reject the item. Okay? You have to reject the item. Because the test item cannot distinguish the students who performed well in the overall test and the students whose performance are very poor. So dili siya ma-identify kung ang kanina nga students ni perform well ba, ang kanina students ni perform poorly. Basta always remember nga kung zero discrimination gani, you have to reject the item. Ha? You have to reject the item. Again, kung positive, retain. Kung negative, reject. Kung zero, reject. Okay? And kung moing gani tag positive discrimination, more from the upper group got the correct answer. Kung negative discrimination, more from the lower group got the item correctly. And zero discrimination, it cannot be discriminated. Okay? Now, going back to the question. So, ito to question. Teacher Luis conducted a test. More students from the lower group got the answer. Lower group answered item number 16 correctly. It can be assumed that the said test item is or has saman A. Negative discriminating power, B. Low validity, C. Positive discriminating power, or D. Zero discriminating power. So, unsa man be? So, more from the lower group answered item number 16 correctly, which means that item number 16 has a negative discriminating power. Negative discriminating power. So the answer for this item is letter A, negative discriminating power. Okay. So, nakatun ba ang tanan? Mauna na ang ato last item. We've already tackled 6 items for, oh my God, that is 1 hour, no? Di jud di ay lalim mahimong lecture, guys. Di jud lalim mahimong lecture. So, I will leave you with this quote. Di na siya mo forward, no? Kay hapit naman kumahuman. So, I will end my discussion by giving you a short quote. Don't wish for it. Work for it. So, if you are just wishing that you will pass the board exam, then stop it. Stop wishing, guys. Instead, work for it. Mintra sa'yo pa, fuel your minds to ignite your future. Fuel your mind to ignite your future. Do everything that you can, and if naamoy free time, watch lectures in CBRC, naa sila yung mga online lectures, naa sila yung mga live sessions, and naa sila yung mga free drills nga asa sa trio top notchers, mas makasabot jud mo. So, again, everyone, I am Feuna Mae and Garciano. Di siya mo next. Ako PPT, everyone. I'm really, really sorry. Chares. Di na siya mo next kay and naman sa ako lecture onara. Karon pa siya ni next. So again, I am Feuna Mae and Garciano, and I hope that you learned something from my discussion, from my lecture, and I really, really, really hope and pray that you will have a very wonderful day. Okay? Very na wonderful pa. Oh my God, panalo kayo guys. Thank you so much everyone. Bye!